A few months ago, I was roaming around the temple complex of the Longshan Temple in Taipei City, Taiwan. When I entered the station, I was absolutely enamored by this statue of what looked like a dragon with a turtle's body. And while I was already familiar with the sort of typical Chinese dragon-looking body, I've never seen it attached to a turtle's shell, which happens to be my favorite animal. This led me down a long path of researching and trying to understand what is a dragon turtle. And with that, I'm happy to present you with all the knowledge I have on the Chinese dragon turtle. For generations, humans have been telling stories, tales, and legends about creatures found all around the world. From the griffin to the chupacabra, and from the leviathan to the Chinese dragon. It's high time we set out an adventure to learn about them all. This is an expedition for the mythological. Welcome to Mytho Safari. So, the Chinese dragon turtle plays a somewhat important part in Chinese folklore, as well as modern Chinese culture. I just want to quickly mention, I'd really appreciate you guys subscribing to the channel, turning on the notifications, and becoming a member if it's applicable to you. It'll go a long way to supporting my channel and really help me continue to create videos like this just for you. Alright, let's begin going down the dragon turtle hole. The whole story starts with a character known as Nuwa. The goddess Nuwa is the mother goddess and creator of all humankind. Nuwa is depicted to be a part human, part reptile with the body of a serpent and the head of a woman, a Chinese woman, because again, this comes from Chinese folklore. She's actually the creator of all mankind, and she molded humans individually by hand with yellow clay. Before we continue, I just want to make a quick note. I'm probably going to screw up all the pronunciation for the words in Chinese moving forward. Sorry about that. I'm trying my best. In the Huinanzi, there is a description of a great battle between deities that broke the pillars supporting heaven and caused great devastation on earth. There was a huge flood, and heaven basically collapsed. Nuwa, the creator of mankind, patched the holes in heaven with 5 colored stones, and she used the legs of a tortoise to mend the pillars. This tortoise is known as Ao. Ao is a large marine turtle in Chinese mythology. He was thought to have lived in the South China Sea during the time of the formation of the world. When Nuwa was repairing those pillars of heaven, she actually chopped off Ao's 4 legs and used them as supports. Ao is essentially thought to have been the influence on the later half-dragon, half-turtle figure known as Bi Shi, son of the Dragon King. Enter the Dragon King. The Dragon King is also known as the Dragon God. He's the Chinese water and weather god. He's also regarded to as the dispenser of rain, commanding over all bodies of water, and he can take on the form of both human and dragon. He is zoomorphic. He's basically the collective personification of the ancient concept of Long in Chinese culture. Long is basically the word for dragon in Chinese. The Chinese perception of a dragon and the European perception of a dragon are kind of different. In Chinese culture, for the most part, dragons are considered a water-dwelling being. They have way more of a relationship with water than they do with fire. In ancient legend, the Dragon King had 9 sons. The 9 sons of the dragon are Chinese dragons, who are mythological sons of the Dragon King. There are many variations in the different descriptions of these 9 sons, including basic facts like their names, but all versions state that there are 9. And the number 9 in ancient Chinese mythology is actually really important because it's the largest possible single digit. So here's the list of the 9 Dragon King sons. Qianne is one of the Dragon King sons that likes music and is connected to musical instruments. Yazi, he's a hybrid of a sort of dog and dragon, and is a creature that likes to fight, is aggressive, and normally found on cross guards on swords as an ornament. Chao Feng. Similar to a phoenix and a dragon, this is a creature of adventure and typically placed on all 4 corners of a roof. Pu Lao is a fun, sort of unique dragon-like creature. It really likes to roar and is represented at the top of bells used as handles. Xuan Ni is a hybrid of a lion and a dragon. The lion dragon, or the dragon lion, a creature that likes to sit down and is represented upon the base of Buddhist idols. These are known as protection and one of the most widespread of the dragon sons. Bian is a hybrid of the dragon and a tiger. It's a creature that likes litigation and is usually placed over prison gates. Ba Xia is a creature that has something to do with bridges and sort of overlooking water. Apparently it is also known for liking to drink water, and is some sort of a hybrid between a reptile and a dragon. I know that's not very clear, because dragons are technically reptiles, but Qi Wen is a hybrid of a fish and a dragon. Its connotation comes with swallowing, and is placed on both ends of ridge poles and roofs, and the purpose is to swallow all evil influences. And of course, lastly, we have Bi Shi. This is the hybrid of a turtle and a dragon, the dragon turtle. Bishi, a creature with a large shell that's able to carry heavy objects, and is normally found under grave monuments or at the support bases of buildings. Bishi is essentially the dragon turtle in its ancient cultural depiction, and we'll get more into that right now. Bishi essentially is known and used in a lot of Chinese architecture and temples depicting carrying poles, totems, or pillars on its back, showing that it had an immense strength and loyalty to its fate of, being used as the base of a freaking pillar. Sculptures of Bishi are traditionally rubbed for good luck, which can cause conservation issues when it comes to their statues. They can also be found all throughout East Asia and the Russian Far East. Now, up until here, everything sort of kind of makes sense. We have the source of where Bishi came from with Ao, and we end up with this thing called Bishi, which is the son of the Dragon King. Throughout this entire journey, we have still stayed connected to the source, a turtle with a dragon's head. Turtle body, dragon head. Dragon turtle. Somewhere along the way, this story takes a bit of a confusing turn, and I've struggled finding accurate information on what exactly came first and how we ended up with a completely different name. But alas, I will try to explain. There are 4 very important symbols known as the 4 symbols of the Chinese constellations. They are the Azure Dragon of the East, the Vermilion Bird of the South, the White Tiger of the West, and the Black Tortoise of the North. The Black Tortoise of the North is also usually depicted as a tortoise intertwined with a snake. The dragon turtle happens to combine 2 of these celestial creatures into one, the dragon known as Long and the turtle known as Qi, giving us the name Longyi. Now, a lot of this information that's coming up I got from my Chinese friends who have asked from all over the world. I have really struggled on finding accurate information online, and if you look at just the Wikipedia article on the dragon turtle, Longyi, it barely has any information on it. I knew that there must be something deeper than what I'm seeing on Wikipedia. From everything that I've understood, the purpose of the dragon turtle and its existence has to do with carrying a book or a manuscript known as the He Tu Lo Xun. He Tu Lo Xun. It isn't really a book, but it's more of a design. It's 2 pages long and is made of a bunch of shapes, dots, and lines. And before the invention of paper, in ancient China, people used to write things on turtle shells. Now we need to divide the He Tu Lo Xu into 2 parts because essentially that is what it is. It's 2 different books, 2 different diagrams. The He Tu was an ancient Chinese diagram about the Yellow River, one of the most important rivers in China. It's the 2nd largest river in China and one of the longest rivers in the world. It appears in many myths and legends and has some sort of relationship in ancient Chinese culture with the invention of writing. Now, as for the Lo Shu, it is the diagram of the Lo River. Both of the cosmological diagrams were used in ancient China and were employed by both Taoists and Confucians to be the explanation and the correlation of hexagrams of the Yi Jing Book of Changes with the universe and human life. They are also used in modern-day feng shui, which actually has a lot to do with the modern-day purpose of the dragon turtle. Overall, these diagrams are like a recognition system for time, directions, and seasons, and it's all based on the constellations, or the stars. In ancient times, by the Yellow River, one of these said sons of the Dragon King, the dragon horse, half dragon and half horse, emerged from the Yellow River with a diagram on its back. The dragon horse is reportedly to have regularly appeared during the reigns of virtuous rulers, when the horse didn't appear again and meant that they were in bad times. And that in essence is the story of He Tu. Now, as for the inscription of the river Lu, it said that the dragon turtle, Longyi, left the waters of the river Lu, so the inscription was seen on its back. It also could have just been the pattern on the turtle's shell, and it could have been interpreted as the 8 trigrams in a constellation different to that of He Tu. Similarly to the dragon horse, the dragon turtle appeared only during lucky times, when virtuous rulers reigned in the Chinese Empire, and it ceased to be seen when there were bad and selfish men governing the world. It seems that the purpose of this dragon turtle in ancient legend was to bring people these diagrams and help to forward humanity to a greater place. It was also to explain the potential constellation that ancient Chinese people were looking at in the sky, and understanding the nature and mathematics behind what they were seeing and witnessing in their day-to-day life, i.e., this was the invention of Chinese culture. And like I mentioned earlier, the dragon turtle was only able to deliver these diagrams to an emperor that was benevolent or honorable, signifying that goodness in a ruler, as opposed to evil, is a better way to govern one's people. Nowadays, all this legend has been converted mostly into the purpose of the dragon turtle in people's lives using feng shui. In feng shui, the dragon turtle is a symbol of ancient wisdom and prosperity. It is believed to offer protection, grant wishes, and attract wealth and success. It is considered as a positive ornament in feng shui, symbolizing courage, determination, fertility, longevity, power, success, and support. The mythical creature is often depicted with a baby turtle on its back, symbolizing the passing of wisdom and knowledge from one generation to the next. The dragon turtle is often placed in homes, businesses, and offices to enhance positive energy and promote good fortune.
And it should be added that one of the most famous ways to depict the dragon turtle is actually either holding money in its mouth or sitting on a pile of money. And this is a symbolism for good fortune. And just a side note, you guys remember Bowser, one of our favorite characters from the Mario universe? Well, yeah, Bowser is actually based off of the dragon turtle. And that's because in Japanese fables and tales, a lot of Chinese mythology exists as well.
When I asked my Chinese friends if they had any fables or stories about this amazing dragon turtle, I was unlucky. None of my friends actually had any. And when I tried to understand the connection between Ao, the ancient sea turtle deity, to Bi Shi and Long Wei, the overall sentiment was that Bi Shi and Long Wei are the same. Bi Shi is the more archaic depiction of the dragon turtle in reference to being the son of the Dragon King, and his main purpose is to be, like we mentioned, a pillar of strength for a building, and a symbol of undying loyalty to its structure and its cause, and obviously showing a huge sign of strength. Somehow, during the evolution of ancient Chinese culture and probably the progression of language, the literal words dragon and the word turtle became the name of Bi Shi, the dragon turtle, Long Wei. I fell in love with this dragon turtle through my trip in East Asia, to the point where I actually carry one on my necklace on my everyday life now. To me, there's something beautiful about combining these celestial spirits, these celestial animals, of a dragon and a turtle together and creating something magnificent that has purpose, and the ancient Chinese legends that come from behind them, and the fact that statues of them and totems are still used till this day is truly remarkable.
One of the main reasons I made this video was because when I first discovered the dragon turtle and was so fascinated by it and wanted to learn more, I literally could not find any information on YouTube. Nothing remotely similar to the story I told you guys today. And maybe everything I provided you in today's video is not 100% historically accurate. It's an attempt at least to piece together the story of where the dragon turtle came from.
And if you guys look closely at the logo of this YouTube channel, the dragon turtle is actually our mascot. Because in reality, I started this channel because I wanted to learn more about this dragon turtle and found out that there's an entire world of mythical creatures that I can explore and travel the world learning all about them. If you guys love this channel, please subscribe and turn on those notifications, as well as become a member if it's applicable to you. It'll go a long way in supporting my channel and help me make more amazing videos just like this for you. I can't wait to see you guys back here on Mythos Safari for our next adventure.